What's up, everyone? This is Joe'd here with the Unova Region Power Rankings for the NPBA Season 13, and today I'm joined by Shandy. Please introduce
Hi,
yourself.
I'm Chandelure.
Yep, so Chandelure is here to help us look at the teams, and we are just doing a power ranking video, so we are ranking the teams from 16 all the way up to 1, based on mostly vibes. We don't have a set rubric or anything like that, but we're going to talk about, for the lower ranked teams, a couple things that make them a little weaker in our eyes, and then the better teams, their strengths as well, and then maybe give a few things that we think could be different for some of them. Everything is just our opinions, except our opinions are usually pretty good. So if you disagree with us, you're probably wrong, and we're probably right. So I think that pretty much covers everything. All of you probably know the rules, but it's like mid-tier Terra, Nat decks, singles. Only thing that's really banned is like hidden power and then like the obvious stuff. So otherwise, I think we are good to go. So
I think so.
this is our 16th team, and we're going to just be going in order from 16 all the way up. And we have Dark Pharaoh Aura's team. So we have here Shaman Sky, Urshi Rapid, Mega Guard, Terra Arcanine, Terra Sandy Shocks, Grafai, Hoopa, Snorlax, Archelodon, and Florges. So where do we want to start with this team? You had a few comments on it earlier.
There's Forges being your only defog is just not okay. I don't like that. Sandy Shock's Terra is okay, but at the same time, you're gonna be running. You want to run offensive with it, so you're not like maybe you can fit spikes on it, and then our Charlon can be rocks, but that's all you have for hazards. And then you don't have any ground resist. You have one immunity in Skyman. I don't care if Arcanine is and Sandy Shocks are both Terra. Skyman's also just a bad mon. And honestly, that's all I can really say. Overall, like the stats for the team, pretty good. You have walls, you have offense. Your momentum is lacking. Your default, your removal is lacking, and your hazards are lacking.
Yeah, a couple notes I have are like, I think Urshi Rapid and Mega Guard are like both very good breakers. I think they pair well together, but like when you draft a really strong fighting, typically the best thing to pair it with is a strong dark, because the fighting breaks the psychics for the dark, but you don't have any way to capitalize, or and also like the steals, which most darks kind of struggle with anyway. Um, and yeah, you break the steals for like the Gardevoir, but oh, you know what? I said the fighting breaks the psychics. I meant the dark breaks the psychics for the fighting. Anyway, you don't have great ways to break psychics. Like your only super effective is going to be like a Hoopa, and it's not even a Terra Hoopa. So like I think that's a little bit weak. Like a bulky psychic type might pose problems for this, but also not having a dark type at all makes you a little bit weak to size
Yeah,
spam. And like Arcanine and Sandy Shocks, I don't really think benefit from Terra Dark very much.
they don't.
So I think like I do think Arcanine is a pretty decent Terra, because like anything that has like an immunity like Flash Fire is like you can do some stuff with that, like Terra, Grass Steel, whatever, make that fire weakness go away. But again, it's not like the highest power Terra. You do get burn up, which is cool with Terra Fire because you don't lose your typing.
It's very funny.
But yeah, the other thing I had is your steel. I think Archaludon's one of the weakest steels to take for the role of a steel type, so you may end up just being like steel Arcanine a lot, because like Archaludon doesn't resist fairy, and then your poison is Grafai, which doesn't resist anything because it's too weak. So like I think if you were gonna have the Archaludon be your steel, I think you would need to have a stronger and bulkier poison than Grafai.
Muck, muck
Yeah,
on the
I think
team.
Muck could be fine. I think Wheezing actually works really well because you don't have defog, except on Florges, so that could be a nice one. It'll also help with your ground weakness. So I don't know if Wheezing's on the board, but like a mon like that could be nice. And then ultimately like this team
Weezing
isn't
doesn't get default, by the way.
really. Oh, you know what? It's only
Only G
glaring.
Weezing does.
So okay,
Yeah.
maybe you have to find that somewhere else. I think regular Wheezing would still be fine here, but
It would be, because, like
Yeah.
you said, with the Arcanine wanting to be Terra Steel, that just doesn't help with the ground weakness you already have, because
Yeah.
Skyman's not going to be your answer to ground. It's going to be your answer to grounds,
It's your
but
only
if they
answer.
know it's coming in, they have coverage for it.
Yeah, every ground gets Stone Edge, so you're always going to be risking that prediction for them. And like, yeah, I just think there's a few changes that could really patch up some of the weaknesses here because like you have the breaking power and you have like mons that could run sort of unique like setup options, but I think a couple of the low tiers really compound your weaknesses instead of like patching them up. So, and then also just like going by the top tier, like I think Shaman Sky is one of the weaker like mons that we unbanned this season, so not
I
going to be the
agree.
highest power, but again, like usually the Unova teams, like the bottom ones, are like really really bad, and I would say like this being the worst team is not actually that bad. Like it's at least pretty functional.
No,
So
no, I think Unova had a really good draft this season
yeah, like this, if this is the
overall.
worst one, the other like that's it's not that bad. Like it has its
No, it's
strengths,
just
but
missing too many key importance for me to rank it any higher than last.
yeah. All right, we can move on to the 15th team, which is Alaskan Prairies. Um, this one has a lot better stuff at the top end. Honestly, why did we put this one so low?
It only has Donphin for hazards. I mean,
Oh yeah,
Stuntank can run T spikes, but who's running T spikes isn't that important.
yeah. I think some of it is your top speed is Kilowattrel, and I don't really like that mon at
It's
all.
Terra Kill at least. Like it's
That's
okay.
true. That's a good
It
point.
gets Terra Blast.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, the
Yeah,
fact
it's
that it's
not bad.
Terra, I think this might. Oh, you know what? I didn't
It,
really like getting Melmetal and Cortana on the same team. Like, I really think they're good. Like,
but
one
they're
of
two
them,
offensive steals.
yeah, it's like you want to run like if you draft Cortana, you usually need a second steal, but it's usually like you want like Tinkaton or you want like
Registeel,
Registeel or Bronzong or like something like that.
Bronzong, something like that.
Melmetal,
Yeah.
you're now in like Melmetal can be defensive. People run it, but you're investing a lot of point capital
Yeah,
into a
like
mon that
Acid
wants
Armor
to
or
be
AV, but
yeah. So I
you
think you're
just want
gonna
to stop a choice ban on that guy.
yeah you're gonna struggle to find weeks where like you want both Melmetal and Kartana, and they're like you are glad that you have both. I think you're gonna you run into more weeks where like you wish one of them was something else because I think it's just you put in whatever like 32 points or something into those two mons, and that's gonna be kind of hindering you.
Yeah,
And like it is
it's like
nice,
it's solid mons that just don't really work together. Like
yeah,
they work together, but it's just your bottom could have been different. Like after Kilowatt, you could have gotten different mons, and it might have been a little bit better.
yeah, I would agree. And I think like the Donphan is good here, but it's more good out of necessity because you have nothing else. I think like getting triple water just makes no sense. Like it's fine to get a water with your Keldeo, but
I
I
mean,
know Walrein's a low tier, but like I don't know if
Walrein don't really count.
but it's also just like you could get something that isn't Walrein and at least have like a 1 or 2 point like
That's
spike
true.
setter. You could get like Roselia or whatever.
Quilladin.
Quilada and sure they like anything that at least gives you
Quilladin
pass
actually would be
drop.
kind of good on this team.
Yeah, I don't hate Quilladin. But I mean on the bright side, your top mons are just like really good naturally. So like
Your
Megalodios
top
is
four can win any game.
yeah, that's the thing. Like you're lacking the support, but if you are in a match where the support is a little less needed, then if you have the offense like naturally, just so you have a good matchup, like you'll probably win. But I don't think you want a draft where you win your winning matchups and you just lose your losing ones. Like I think you want to have more options to like get out of bad situations, and I think you're lacking a little bit here. But like Megalodios can just win games on its own because it's so bulky and overpowered.
Calm Mind, baby. Calm Mind Refresh.
Yeah, Calm Mind, Refresh, Recover, Store Power is the best set, and it's really good against a team that doesn't have a Dark type. Um,
Yeah, which we already saw one.
yeah, and I don't know how often that'll happen, but like you do at least have like the Keldeo to and the
Keldeo, yeah,
Enamorus.
Keldeo.
Keldeo and Enamorus
Yeah.
with Latias I think are pretty
You
nice.
have Dark Killers at least.
Yeah,
Your top four is what's going to carry you. Kilowatt's not bad. Kartana is going to have games where it just pops off. Donphan's a necessity, unfortunately. And then your last three are, I mean, whatever.
Yeah, I would
Volcanion seems
say.
kind of odd for this team.
Yeah, I don't really get why it was added here. I mean, like putting
You
up
have your
fire.
special attack.
I
You
guess
have your
you.
special attack with 3 of your top 4.
I think it's that you want an ice resist because you have of your like main guys like Latias and Amorous, Kilowatchel, Donphan are all ice weak, and then your
Eh,
resists are
Melmetal,
like
Keldeo.
Melmetal, and that Melmetal some weeks is going to be a Kartana, so then you don't have it, and then it's just Keldeo, which is like bulky-ish, but you don't
I
really
just thought
want it to take
maybe,
hits.
yeah, if you like combine Volcanio and Wolverine into a different low tier water, is more so what I was saying.
Oh yeah, I'd
Maybe
be
get some
fine with
more
that.
like pivot.
Yeah,
Because, I mean, Kilo, Keldeo, and then I guess Latias with Baton Pass, but you're never really running that.
yeah.
So you have 2 pivot mons.
There's no slow pivot to position your like Kartana, which is a mon that really needs a slow pivot.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, like
Um,
15th team, still pretty strong. Do you want to go on?
yeah, I don't have anything else to say about this team, really.
All right. So here we have Legion 444, with honestly what looks to be at like first glance a really scary team. Like if Polt,
The top 5
Ogerpon,
is
like
Demon.
so many good mons, but then it's like you just get to thinking like this team kind of missed the mark on a lot of key aspects. So like you have in theory 3 defoggers, but in reality you probably have 0 defoggers because Togetic is not real. Mantine, you already have 2 really good waters, so you're like I don't really think you're bringing all 3, and it's an okay defogger, but it's not that good. And then Blaziken is never running defog. So
No.
your removal, and you have no spin. Your removal's bad, and then your only setter is Heatran, which is good with Terra, but like again, like it's probably good to have 2 setters, not just one.
I guess with like Mantine, what I'm starting to think is that like it has 140 special defense, so like it and Ursaluna kind of pair well together, to where it can switch into the special moves that it doesn't want to hit. But at the same time, what mon are you benching for Mantine? You have to bench Muck, Mega Manectric, Togetic, or Blaziken to fit Mantine on the squad. And at that point, now you're 3 mons pretty much weak to Electric. Ogerpon's not weak to it, but it's not taking electric moves well.
Yeah, I think the bigger issue is freeze dry. I mean,
That too.
if you go top 5 and then you put in Mantine, you have 2 mons that are quad weak to freeze dry and 2 mons that are weak to it, and only 3 mons that are
No,
regular
you have
weak to
3
it,
mons weak to it,
and
and
then
then 1 mon that
only
quad
Heatran.
resist, but it's Terra.
Yeah, it's Terra, so you're gonna have to stay as an ice resist with Heatran, and Heatran really likes going like Terra Grass to beat waters, and you
Terra Grass,
obviously
Splash
can never go
Fire,
Terra Grass.
Terra Fire Eruption, which should
Yeah,
still resist ice, but then your Eruption, you don't want to be taking damage.
yeah, I would like to see, even though it doesn't necessarily help the ice weakness, I would love a different Ogerpon, just because like I feel like you're gonna end up.
Awesome. You don't need the
You
Ogerpon.
know what? You
If
don't
like
actually need it.
Cornerstone is there, you need Cornerstone instead, which then gives you another one that beats most ice types.
At least Cornerstone resists electric.
That too, but
That kind of
like
helps with
if
the
you get a
Palafin.
Trailblaze up, if you get like a Trailblaze up with Cornerstone, you even beat Bundle, unless it's like Scarf or
Yeah,
um, Booster Speed.
yeah. Cornerstone's pretty. It definitely looks better here, and then I think that would give you like a couple more points. I don't
Oh,
know.
for
Again,
sure. It gives you like
I think Cornerstone's
I think it
probably
gives
taken.
you. Eh, I don't remember seeing it, but I think it gives you like 3 extra points, and then you can change like Togetic, Mantine, Blaziken into something. I just think Blaziken is just a fucking. I don't like Blaziken.
I think it's kind of a
It's a
point
fraud.
sink, and again, it's like
Yeah,
there's so many fightings to pair with Dragapult. Dragapult does want a good fighting, and I
of
don't think
course.
Blaziken's necessarily bad, but you already got the Heatran, and it's another case of like, how are you going to justify like spending all these points on mons that you rarely want to bring at the same time? It's like the same as you know
The
what? I just
offense is very scary. So I mean, if you're going for like hyper offense, then you might as well just lean into it a bit more.
yeah, I accidentally clicked away. I noticed I was using this dock for um, a different league, and I had some abilities up top, but those might be on every page. We'll see. I'll just delete them as we go. But
They were.
yeah, it's whatever. If you're able to delete them, that'd be good. But
Oh
anyway,
yeah.
yeah.
No.
Of course, you still have like crazy high power mons, like most of these teams do. But yeah, when you draft so many high tiers that cross over in typing and don't even really cover each other's weaknesses, I think you run into a lot of like wishing you could have spent your points more effectively. So I think that's kind of where I land with this team. Uh,
Yeah.
do you want to move on?
Let me get back to it. Yeah, we can move on. Not much else to really say.
All right. So the next team is Frostbite, and this is a bit of a weird one because you have Double Dragon, which I actually think is kind of good, and then you have a Sun Core, but you're not like all in on Sun, which is also fine.
No,
So
you can still bring Screamtail and Slitherwing without Sun. Even Lilligant can work without Sun, so
yeah, I mean Screamtail barely even cares about Sun.
no.
Lilligant. So right off the bat, like I think you do have a couple glaring weaknesses. Like you have three fairy weak, two flying. Like you have two quad flying weaknesses with only one resist, and then
Peru.
you have three ice weak with Torkoal as your only resist, and then you have your three fairy weak. You have two good fairy resists, which is at least that's okay, but it's kind of rough on
At
the type
least
chart.
at least Slitherwing is a Terramon, so that weakness can be alleviated. And also Screamtail's another Terra, which just has
Yeah,
ridiculous bulk.
and you can just
So
set
you kind of have an
screens.
everything resist.
Yeah, and Porygon too. Honestly, it's kind of a catch-all.
Yeah, and hazards aren't bad. What's the
Yeah.
spiker? Oh, not gonna. You don't have spikes. That thing's not running spikes.
Yeah, but your three rockers are all well. Two of them are pretty good at sending rocks, and your removal is
Mm,
very good.
yeah, removal's good with Corviknight and Torkoal, Willigant, and Latios are not
Yeah,
running it.
and you get good pivot. You have like good slow and fast pivot, and I think like one kind of
Yeah,
hidden thing on this team is like first of all, Double Dragon is inherently like you kind of have to build your team around it, and one of the biggest checks is going to be Steel types. But you have a Sun team, so Steel
you have
types
Sun.
suck. Naganadel is going to get
You
a
have two
fire.
fighting types.
It's going to get flamethrower boosted in Sun. You have two fightings that also learn. Well, I mean, Slitherwing gets some fire moves, I think, but
It does.
yeah,
It gets Flare Blitz.
yeah, and also, I
You
mean,
can
yeah, you're
Terrifier Flare Blitz with it.
yeah, and you're fighting type anyway, so like depending on what they're weak to, that'll help out. So like you do a good job with that. Where you fall short is beating the fairies. So like Naganadel doesn't care as much because it's already poison type. So you can a little bit afford to be slightly worse into fairies. Obviously, fairies are just harder to break because it's just poison and steel. So I think like you did support the dragons pretty well. It's just like those type weaknesses that like if one mon gets a speed boost or runs a choice scarf on the other team, they happen to have like the coverage for the weaknesses you have, like you're pretty much just cooked.
Yeah, pretty much. Like Enam going into this team is tough.
Enam,
Enam paired with something that can break cores.
yeah. Well, one of these teams we just saw had Enam, and
Yeah,
I don't know that
I
that one's
mean,
that's an interesting matchup, but yeah,
cut a
there's a
lot
few things.
and Volcanion. Yeah,
There's a few things that can pose major threats to this team that it might just auto lose to certain mons, but
someone has to be here anyways.
yeah.
So
But you got.
overall, I
I
mean,
like that
pretty nice.
we have good hazard and good pivot, which some of the teams were lacking, and pretty good speed. So it's a good
Yeah,
starting point at least.
Screamtail can go fast because its natural bulk is good enough.
Yeah, I mean you have the speed tier of Megalodios anyway, so the Screamtail speed is
True.
not
Yeah.
really needed, but like it's not bad. It just is what it is.
I mean,
So
team's not terrible.
yeah.
It functions.
All right, we're gonna go to the next team, which is RDG Dom. Uh, this one, they're starting to look pretty scary. Obviously, like Hoopa Unbound Terra is like pretty cracked. It just does like it's pretty much impossible to wall it because it has 160
It has
attack on
fighting
just
coverage.
yeah 160
It has
attack on
fighting
just
coverage. It has
special.
U-turn. It has
Gets you to.
pretty much everything that it needs with Terra. It's pretty good. It can tear out of the bug weakness, which is
Yeah,
great.
and it I believe gets Terra Blast, though you usually don't even need it. I can't remember if it gets
Does
Terra
it's a
Blast.
great.
Oh, it does. Yeah,
I think it
yeah,
does because I'm pretty sure
it's in the
Hoopa's
game.
in.
But
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter because if you just go Terra Dark knockoff, it's killing most things. Like 160 attack Terra Dark knockoff with like a choice band, literally does not have switch
Yeah.
ins. Even like megas that don't take the knockoff damage still are probably taking like 60%.
It's a really good 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a really good top 6, and then Gastrodon's a really good like budget water ground.
Yeah,
Starmie is there.
Starmie is
I
actually
don't.
good removal. Like I think Terra
I
Starmie,
just don't like it.
I think you're looking more like a defensive, even though it has bad defensive stats. Like you're kind of looking to like come in on a resist. This is like assuming this is not a Hoopa week. Like let's just say Hoopa didn't come this week. It is a weird one because you got double psychic, so you end up being U-turn week.
Yeah,
But
but at least they're both Terra, so it's kind of alleviates it.
yeah,
And then
and like
Rodom's good removal.
yeah, Rodom's good removal.
Pumpkin.
Rodom pairs
Pumpkin's
very
not real.
well. Rodom with Golden Go and Gastrodon is like you get a lot of nice resists in there. Like they kind of cover a lot of things for each other, and then of course Mega Diancie Zero Aura
You
are
have great pivots with all the Mons that can run pivot. Even Mega Diancie, it actually does want to run Baton Pass sometimes.
yeah.
Just be sure not to Diamond Storm into Baton Pass.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, you will automatically lose if you do that. But yeah, and like your setters are just two mons, but at least one of them is good. Diancie sometimes uses rocks.
No, Diancie a lot of the time because you can hold off on megaing it, and then you can
Yeah.
be rock spikes
Well, it's
if
more so that
if
like
Gastrodon doesn't have a good matchup.
I think a lot of times that you bring rocks or spikes on Diancie, it's that you have like 3 attacks that you want, and you just have a 4th slot that you're not doing anything with.
Oh yeah, for sure, and you can wait.
And you end up not clicking it a lot of the time. So like I wouldn't say
it can
good.
run it.
It's an
It's
acceptable
bulky.
runner.
It's bulky enough before you mega that you can like put rocks on it, click rocks, and then mega.
Yeah,
And then you can have Gastrodon come in later and set up spikes.
I think the one thing I'd say is I might want one more way to get some kind of hazards up because you have Goldengo, and like if you're drafting
I'd like
Goldengo,
another rocker.
yeah, just like what I don't even really care what the hazard is, just like one more guy because like Diancie's not the most reliable setter, and then maybe you have a week where you just can't bring Gastrodon. It's like having one other over probably the Starmie is like the easiest cut here.
The Meganium is heat. I want to see light
Yeah,
screen reflect. I
Meganium
want to see
looks
Screen's
good here.
Meganium come.
Meganium
I
looks
want to
pretty
see
good.
it come.
Yeah,
You can bring it for like bulk up Zapdos, Nasty Paw Goldango, Nasty Paw Rodom, bulk up Zeraora, or Calm Mind. Pretty sure it also gets Calm Mind, right?
Meganium. Oh, I don't know.
No, Zeraora.
Oh, Zero gets.
I know
I
it gets
think
bulk up. I
yes.
don't remember if it gets Calm Mind. I'm pretty sure it does. But just set up, just bring Meganium, and then set up with one of your setup guys, and
Yeah.
it'll be a good matchup.
Yeah. So teams got a lot of tools. Honestly, I guess we didn't really say much bad about it, other than we don't really like the Starmie pick. I don't have a lot to say. I mean,
There's nothing wrong. It's just lackluster compared to the next teams that we're gonna see.
Yeah, I would say like your. Oh, this was a complaint I had was you. This was the second pick in the draft, so you could have picked so many things
True.
better than Diancie, and like Diancie is good, but Diancie's the kind of mon you take when you have like 14th pick or something. So it's like
Yeah.
you look at the other
It's-
teams, and it's like yes, this checks the boxes. It could have a little more hazard, a little more whatever, but it just the top end guy being Diancie Zero Aura is just not quite as good as some other teams that just have better
No.
mons. Like
You could have waited to round 2 to grab Mega Diancie. I mean, if you
Probably.
really want to use Mega Diancie, then that's fine. But
I
it
think
being
when
your
you
number 1 pick at pick 2 is just, eh.
I think when you draft it at second overall, you're drafting because you wanted to use it. So like I think
Yeah.
this player knew that most likely and wasn't just like thinking Mega Diancy's the second best mon in the game. I'm sure this was just like, oh, I want to use this mon, and I'm willing to sacrifice my
They did
top
build
pick.
around it pretty well.
Yeah, and it's a
All
good
things
team. Again, like
considered.
I have few complaints. I have, a couple things here and there. It's just the overall power could be slightly higher. Um, so
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a bit.
Small nitpick. Drampa kind of sucks as a normal because you don't beat Dragapult with it. Um, and
Yeah,
Spectrier gets Draining Kiss boost against you. So I think if you're drafting a normal to beat the two ghosts that matter, Drompa's probably not the one. But if you're just drafting it to be like a defogger and a dragon type, I guess that's fine. But again,
it
it's
can
a low
work.
tier. You could probably make a couple swaps and it'd be good, but we can move on. So we're now on Buff Ragavan. This is a
We're on the sand
wacky
team.
one. It's like it's not even fully sand, it's just a little bit of sand, but although most sand teams usually don't go full sand. But
No, it's
it's
two
just
mons that are sand,
I think this
but
is a team
still.
that's if this was in a higher division, it would probably be a lower rank, but
If it's in a
because
higher division, it's being dead last.
most likely you have okay on the fundamentals you do have good pivot, you have good removal, and you have good hazard. Oh, you only have rocks, but like you have
That's fine. You have
genuinely
4 rock setters.
four rockers, and like maybe Excadrill doesn't want to run it, but everyone else can. And honestly, Excadrill
Defensive weak extra drill could be rocks,
you can
rapid
bring it
spin, iron head.
you can bring it against the Hatterene and the Mega Diancie because you
Right.
can get through the magic bounce. But I think on a sand
Yeah.
team, you're probably wanting Excadrill to just go full offense. But you got
Yeah.
good spinner, good defogger, good rocks, good pivot. You have parting shot and Pecharunt that's not being shown in this document, but like, yeah, and then good overall power. I think maybe your special offense is slightly lacking because like Mega Sep,
But
not the best. Wait, was this a round 2 Mega Sceptile? Or was this just how it was put into the doc? You there, Shandy?
yeah, I'm here.
Well, it's definitely weird how these mods were drafted. I don't know if they were drafted in this order, or there were some like trades or something. But yeah, I think Darmg. It's one of the few unbans we did for Terra that we were a little iffy on because it just seems pretty broken with Terra.
The team is so offensive with 3 good backbone defensive mon. I mean 4. I mean Zapdos can be either or really. You kind of want it to be offensive here.
I was gonna say like
Your
I think
special
when you
attack is
when you
nothing.
draft Zapdos, you're drafting it to be defensive, but on this team it's offensive because you already have the Pecharunt and the
Yeah.
Aloe. Although your special
And you have
defense,
Weather Ball.
yeah, oh that's kind of funny. I don't really know when you need it. The issue with Weather Ball and Sand
That's
is
for ice
like
types. You can do Scarf.
you don't get the
Scarf
boost.
Fireball.
Like Weather
No,
Ball
you
and Rain
don't,
and Sun,
but-
you get the weather boost, and then Inhale. Obviously, Ice is just like broken, but it's
No, but you
probably
have
the
125
worst.
special attack.
Yeah.
Into like bonds like any of the Curums, the Iron Bundle.
Yeah.
You can run Scarf into them and do pretty well with offensive Zapdos. But
Yeah.
like Alomomola with Garganackle and Pecharunt, shit. That's a good defensive core. And then your offense can overwhelm a lot of teams.
Yeah, I think this is on the lower end still, just because it's pretty weird. Like, you still have
It's-
a bad type chart. Like, you're pretty water weak, you're pretty ground and fighting and fairy weak. You have good. I mean, at least you have 2 ghosts for fighting, but you're not. So you can only bring 6 mons, right? So sometimes you're just gonna get screwed.
Yeah.
And then your speed is pretty bad, I would say. Like, Mega Sceptile is not a mon that wants to come most weeks. So your speed is like Darmg. Darmg is usually running Choice Scarf, I think.
It's always running Choice Scarf unless it's going to be Polychrome.
It's Choice Scarf for Boots. Occasionally you run Choice Band, but yeah, you see Boots a good amount. And this team has good enough removal to not always need Choice Scarf, but again, you might get into the situation where there's rocks up and you just can't afford to position your Darm that way.
I will say Darmanitan Zen mode is 135 base speed.
Yeah, but that's just so
like,
gimmicky. Like maybe you pull it off, but when you're doing speed tiers, like you need You need the Mon to be
You
that
need
speed.
consistency.
Yeah, you need the Mon to always be that
That's
speed.
base.
That's why, like, Excadrill, yes, you have a fast Mon, but with Sand. But some weeks or some games, you misplay and your Tyranitar dies, and now you don't get to do the Sand thing. And like again,
Anything faster than 115 is going Adamant or Modest with a Scarf.
yeah, that's the
And
other
then
thing
like
is
the
like
G-Darm.
even if you count Mega Sceptile as like a real speed option, and like it's okay here, you still like Zeraora and Dragapult are slower, so they get Adamant or
Yeah.
Modest and
Yeah, Adamant or Modest.
Iron Bundle, like Mega Manectric, Crobat, like random mons that you wouldn't think about are now like a little bit stronger. Like
Yeah.
all the 120s, Iron Boulder, you're cooked. Although Iron Boulder can't Terra in this one, so maybe not as bad. Like
Even
again,
without against this team, without Terra, you're fine.
Iron Boulder's not
You have
actually that
close
good into this
combat.
team.
I mean,
Roaring Moon,
kind of.
Cinderace, like at least you have good physical walls because I think some of these guys could be scary. But again, like you're gonna just run into like probably at least one mon per week that gets
A
Adamant.
fast special mon will destroy you.
Yeah, you do have a severe lacking of special defense. Like your Tyranitar is your only special wall, because of the sand boost. I mean, you do have Garganackle, but you want to Terra that. So like you could stay Rock with Sand Up and be like pretty tanky. But
Yeah.
I guess with Garg, you just go Terra whatever, like whatever good type it can be. Probably Fairy, because
Water.
you literally don't have a Fairy type.
Yeah, Fairy. It's gonna be Fairy.
And then just max HP, max special defense, and then you go like whatever Gargs that you want. It's just that you're a little bit like held to that role. So like not having a Fairy is a little rough.
It's a very offensive team that can overpower others, and that's the only reason why it's so high, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, we can go on. Next up, we have Moth Mouse. So, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, this is the 10th team, I believe. Yeah. So, this is ranked 10th. Buff Ragavan was 11th. I don't think we've been saying that.
Now we have the Rain team.
This is a Rain team that's, like, not fully Rain,
weird.
which actually is okay.
It's weird.
I think you got enough.
It's weird. You have a Swift Swimmer.
I don't think you need 2 Swift Swimmers, but I guess so. Upsides of Rain here, you get perfect Hurricanes on both your flyers. You get Mega Scizor lives fire moves, and you get Floatzel, and then you can run Ferrothorn. Although that's a really weird pairing with Scizor, and then Heliolisk can run Thunder, which is not that relevant.
Ferrothorn's really weird when you end up getting Clodsire later, because they do the same thing, really.
And you also got Rhyperior.
And you have Rhyperior
and you already had
for whatever
Scizor.
reason. And you have Scizor, so Ferrothorn's kind of okay. I think
the reason this team's on the lower end is like, okay, the upside is obvious, but there's just a lot of type double ups that it's like, why did we double these up? Like you have double flying, and these are 2 mons that do kind of the same thing. Like obviously Torn is much better.
They're special. They both go special.
They're special flyers. They both get plot. They both love Rain for Hurricane. Yes, you can run obviously Moltres runs the same set every time pretty much, but like you can run a different set on Torn. But you're drafting it to just spam Hurricane, so I don't know. I don't think you need both. Although a lot of teams don't have flying resists, or like they only have one, so that can be kind of fun. And then you have like Mega Scizor and Pharaoh, which I don't know if you need both.
I think you could drop Pharaoh for how much it costs. I mean, what,
sure.
15, 14?
It's probably
something
13.
Like that.
But it's like you've already got
either way.
Like I think Rain teams, they definitely want a grass type because you want to be able to resist other.
Yeah, you want a grass type, but I don't think you need Ferrothorn with Scizor.
Yeah, I would get a cheaper grass, maybe something. What would you get? I don't know, because you have good removal.
Grass.
You have good removal. You have good setter. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like you get really good value with your points here. Like, I'm a little bit surprised that this team was able to be made with the amount of points.
Is there a Rillaboom?
Oh, that'd be interesting. That would be an interesting
one. I've seen Rillaboom.
Because I think having
you could throw Rillaboom on this team.
Yeah, I think having
helps
that priority.
Clodsire.
Yeah, helps Claude. Having priority on a team that
helps Scizor. Gives you another strong priority.
I don't hate that.
That
'Cause
would be really cool for a team like this.
Yeah, I think you're overpaying for Pharaoh for what it does for this team. When Claude is amazing here because you get water absorbed. So like the biggest risk of rain is like the other water types you face just get like a free choice specs, but Claude's Zyre just deletes that.
Yep.
Rhyperior is definitely a weird one. I love Terra Rhyperior, but it's like I don't
It's
think
funny.
I don't think this
It's
is the
okay.
team for it. But I don't know. Maybe you just were looking for fun
It's okay
Terras.
to be here. It's okay to be here.
Yeah.
It probably doesn't cost that much either.
No, it's one of the more expensive ones. It's a pretty strong Terra because Solid Rock makes you not.
What is it, like 8?
It might be like 11 or 12. I don't know. I
Oh,
remember
Jesus.
because some of our Terras are a little too expensive to be honest, but we did our best. It's one of the more expensive ones. You could probably save those points, but again, I don't know what I'd add. I just know what I'd remove. So maybe there's just a few routes to maximize your point value. I'm a little bit coming around to the double flying because flying spam is so strong, but definitely not
It's a good team.
the Pharaoh. And yeah, your speed, I really like that. Like
good removal,
good
hazards,
good hazards, good speed,
pivot,
and
good
you have
speed.
Floatzel, which like so like you have
Floatzel.
You have your regular speed without needing rain, but then you also have like a top end speed with Swift Swim to like overtake a scarf, whatever, a scarf.
Yeah.
A scarf Meowscarada, for example. Whatever you need. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think again it's a little bit one of those like maybe there's some better teams just on pure power level, but it's certainly functional and
it's gonna goob some teams with the double flying.
Yeah. And then some teams will goob you back.
Oh yeah.
Wait. It says that Heliolisk is 11/4 weak to fire. Interesting.
Yeah, because of dry skin.
Oh, it's 1 1/4. I was like, why is it 11/4?
Yeah, no, that's 1 1/4.
Yeah, that should be 5/4. But anyway, interesting. Okay.
Oh well, yeah, but they're gonna use full numbers.
They're not gonna use improper fractions.
No, they're not.
All right. Anyway, I think Heliolisk is pretty good actually. It's a mon I like using. I honestly Terra Heliolisk.
That's cool here. True, if you could like Terra Heliolisk over the Rhyperior,
I don't know if it gets Terra Blast. I can't remember if it's in the game.
I don't think it does. I can double check.
If it doesn't, then I wouldn't Terra that. But if it does, I might think about making a few changes.
It doesn't.
All right. I
mean, you'd just be like, you'd be Terra Water or Terra Electric with Thunder or Surf.
I think it gets Weather Ball, so you might as well run Weather Ball if you're doing that.
Yeah, you'd be running Weather Ball either way.
But yeah, pretty solid overall. We're gonna move on to Buckhazer, which let's see, are we on the 9th team now? I already lost track. I think we're on 9th. So just coming up on the halfway point.
We're on 9th.
And you can see like just a lot of good mons here.
It's scary.
Insane, absurd hazard setting. Like you got too much hazard setting. They're just gonna spam boots, but it's fine because you have like 8 knockoff. Yeah.
Yeah, you have a lot of knockoff.
Yeah, so this is clearly like you want to spam hazards, you want to spam knockoff. You didn't get a ghost type, which I think is a mistake. If you're gonna have this many hazard setters, you should have ghost.
I just don't. I don't see the reason for Cleavor and Nihilego to be on this team.
Well, you got Walking Wake and Toxapex, and then also Nihilego and Cleavor. Like that chain of like type overlaps, I think is too much.
I mean, Walking Wake at least wants to be offensive, so Toxapex can be defensive, but like Nihilego and Cleavor just aren't. And then Nihilego and Toxapex, and you're just doubling up on types that you just don't need. They're just kind of meh.
I think Pex is pretty bad, just generally.
It is.
I don't like it. I think Cleavor is not the best Terra, but you did get Armourouge, which I think is a pretty good Terra.
Armourouge is insane.
And like, I feel like do you have a slow pivot? Besides
Kamala.
Not Kamala. Because I'm thinking like, how do you pivot?
Mega Mawile.
Yeah, Mega Maw. But no. I was thinking like, how do you pivot into Mega Maw? And I kind of wish, like, you have a medium speed pivots, like Tsarina might be able to, or a slow Lando might be able to, but
You can go
I
like
don't know.
min speed AV Komala with the U-turn, like
Yeah,
knockoff U-turn, rapid spin, filler, body slam, or whatever.
yeah, but your top end is just so powerful. Like Landorus in Nat Dex is broken because it gets Rock Polish Sword Stance, and it also gets like all of the moves like knockoff Toxic Defog. Just does everything. One of the best mons in the format. Probably on wherever it was, it probably should be max points, so like 19 points. Uh, and it does so much on this team because you have like, well, okay, you got too many hazards. Honestly, like you didn't need to stack this much because Lando can just do the job for you.
I mean, Mawile isn't running rocks.
Yeah, I'm not counting
Cleavor has
Maw.
rocks. Is okay.
Like you could keep,
Glamora. I mean, not Glamora. Nihilego. Nihilego can run rocks, but you're having Landorus or Cleavor set him most of the time.
yeah, I think it'd be fine to just cut the Nihilego entirely because you have the like if you want to use Toxtex, like you have your poison and you have Cleavor for your rocks, and
I
you
guess the
don't need
only
the
thing
speed.
Nihilego really does, yeah, is just the speed, and I guess it gives you some special attack other than weight. But you also have Armor Rouge, so you don't really need
Yeah,
Nihilego.
I think
Nihilego
this
can be anything else.
you have so many good things. It's like this is like
You
a
know
good
what?
problem to have, right? You have so many good mons. Like make Nihilego a different type
A
that you're missing.
ghost,
There's
a
no
fighting,
ghosts.
an electric,
A
any of
fighting could be
them.
good. Anything you can think of, and ideally a faster one. Maybe you have to switch around some of your low tiers a little bit to make the points work, but I think you can probably make a few of these a little bit better. But again, pretty
It's
good
not a bad team.
speed, pretty good, really good hazards, good speed, mostly good pivots. You'd like a slower one, but like still you have pivot on everything, and then you have the breaking on physical and special with like Armor Rouge, Lando, Walking Wake, Mega Maw. Like nothing is walling those, and then Masquerada, kind of like Lando, sort of just does it all. So I think
Yeah,
like you got the synergies of like hazards plus knock, and I think you're gonna win a lot of games. Obviously, still in the middle tier here. I think we're at ninth,
still
but
really strong. Yeah, you're at ninth. It's still really strong.
yeah,
Top half, top half. This is where it really gets competitive for where your placement's going to be.
yeah. So we're gonna move on to the eighth team. So crossing the halfway point here, Shandy, I'm gonna take 30 seconds to go get some water. If you want to talk about this one.
Oh, all right, all right. So you have the damn near best one in the game now, Tusk. So you have decent hazards with Diancie, like I was saying earlier. What is it? Yeah, 150, 150. I don't care about the 50 HP or 150 in defenses. You're good enough. So your hazard game is good. Your removal, you have one of the best in Tusk. Finny can do it. Scizor can do it. Moltres can do it. Dundee's not doing it, but it's there. Your pivot, I mean, 4 pivot mons, but they're all mons that want to run pivot. Your offense is incredible. I don't love your physical offense because it's Tusk, which is a really good physical offensive mon, and then Scizor, which is slow, but it has priority, and then it's Ambipom. I mean, it's not terrible. Mon's not terrible. I like the Overqlow. It gives you a poison, gives you a dark. Can also be used against the rain team with Swift Swim. Has Intimidate. Don't forget about Misty Surge. So I'm glad you don't have a dragon because their moves would be debuffed unless you had like Levitate. And then don't forget about Toxic. Thunderwave Wisp won't work when Misty Terrain's up. You're weak to water, which I mean you have Finny. You have probably one of the best waters that can switch into other waters. And you have Tangrowth. So that weakness is whatever.
It's not even
Ice,
that weak. It's
you
only
have
three
Scizor,
mons.
you have Finny. Huh?
It's only 3 mons weak to water anyway, so it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, no, it's not, but still. I guess you also have Thunderous, which beats him. It's not a big thing, but like Walking Wake can kind of go hard into this team.
Feeny just destroys Walking Wake though.
It does, yeah, it does destroy it, but like, what's on the Walking Wake team again? Oh yeah, Meowscarada. And then Nihilego. So I mean,
Yeah, but you
yeah,
have Tangrowth, Scizor. I think you can make
Yeah,
it
you
work.
have
Overquill.
this team overall is pretty good. I don't like that your top speed is 115
Yeah,
and it being palm.
that was my main complaint. Your top two mons are not coming every week. Although they might have to. Like, you might have to bring Ambibomb. But
Yeah,
your top speed sucks, and you just really like at this point all of the best speed mons are probably taken, so I don't think you can really make a change. But I think
Neuver might be around, but then you're triple flying.
yeah,
And then it also doesn't get the boost from Misty Surge, Misty Terrain.
yeah, I think that's like not that big of a deal because you can control when the Misty is out. So like
Yeah, no, you can. You can play around your own terrain, but still, like,
it's another thing to worry about, and like I'm pretty lazy, so I wouldn't want to have to worry about it. But regardless of the potential dragon type that's not on this team, I think you definitely just wanted higher than 115. And
yeah, very slow. I mean, relatively slow for how fast Mons can get in this meta.
yeah, it's like you're more on the slow bulky side, Tusk, Feeny, Scizor, Overquill, Diancie, Tangrowth, but you're I think Thundurus is probably going to be doing a lot of work here. It's just unfortunate that it's not faster than 101. And I honestly don't even think you could afford to go to the other Thundurus because then your best
It
special
doesn't really
attacker,
help with anything, unfortunately.
yeah, like you just need the special offense of the Thundurus you have right now. But yeah, I mean the type chart here is just great. Like Feeny, Scizor, Overquill, Tusk is so synergistic in terms of like
Yeah,
limiting.
it's fat. This team's very fat, which is good. In my opinion, I like fat offense, bulky offense. It's just you also need speed. You need some fast, good hitters,
Yep.
just in case, like a Cinderace. Like if Moltres was Cinderace, I would like
Oh,
this team a lot more.
oh, that would be way better. Yeah, because you already have great defog and rapid spin. Like you don't need the Moltres for that. And like
No,
yeah, like
it
defensively,
also gets burn up, but
yeah, you can do Terrifier burn up, but isn't burn up is that a physical or a special move?
it's physical.
Yeah, so I feel like
Pretty sure
it's
it's
not that
physical.
good.
Actually, it might be special. Hold on, let me just double check. I think it is special now that I'm thinking about it. Burn up. Yeah, it's special.
Okay, then never mind. That's actually pretty good. So I like the Moltres Terra here. It's really just the Ambipom. I mean, honestly, you could still run Cinderace and just have Double Fire and it'd be fine. But again, I don't think Cinderace is
You
probably
could.
might not be available. Just kind of naming mons here that might work. But
Yeah, if it is available. But if it is available, you're gonna have to drop like Miss Mag and Moltres probably to get it.
yeah,
You're gonna have to move some stuff around to be able to get it.
well, you're dropping the Ambipom instantly because it's just not that good. I think.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think the days of Ambipom being your random fast mon are kind of over. But yeah, it's super tanky team. I think the issue when you go this bulky is like you're playing the matchups a little bit more than you are when you go more offensive because they happen to have the random mon that breaks your core. Like you kind of lose. But I
Yeah,
think most weeks it should be fine. Feeny, Scizor, Tangrowth, Moltres, like they all kind of cover everything. So
for sure.
yeah, I kind of wish you had like Wish. I don't know if
He
like
has Healing
Diancie.
Wish and Diancie.
Yeah, I think Diancie's just gonna struggle to come most weeks because you already have Feeny as your fairy.
Wish.
But yeah, I think we've.
Oh, it doesn't.
Oh, it
It
doesn't
doesn't
keep
have
them.
Healing Wish. That's sad. Then yeah, you have no way to boost up your HP other than like Roost.
Well,
Roost is or
Roost or Roost Moltres regenerate Tangrowth.
yeah.
It's when your team is this bulky. I like having a Wishmon because like it
Put a
facilitates.
Dashman on this team.
All right, let's chill. Maybe not. I don't know how many good Wish passers there are. Maybe
There's
okay,
not
maybe
many.
you cut the Ambipom and you get like Licky Licky or Licky Tongue or something as like a low tier.
True, you could do that.
That could be like a
That'll
real
give you
thing.
decent normal.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Abyss, which is our seventh team. So now we're getting into the teams. We kind of had this as
Very
like,
strong.
yeah, this is kind of the strong point. We weren't quite sure how to rank these next 7 for the most part. Like they're pretty. Some of them are kind of interchangeable with the ones that are nearby because these are just like really strong power level.
Your
Um,
top 6 is amazing. Tinkaton is an amazing support mon, so is the Dunsparce. Gligar is okay. It's
Gligar's
not
very
bad.
good in that decks because you still get Roost Defog. You get
Because you have
everything.
Roost, yeah, no, you get
In
everything that you did
yeah,
before.
in Paldex it's terrible because it loses. It only has
It
hazards.
was, yeah,
It might
pretty
still have
much.
Toxic. I can't remember, but in that decks you get knockoff U-turn, Defog, Roost, Hazard, Earthquake, Toxic. Like you get everything you would possibly want to run on it. And then yeah, so like those are just really you only have 9 mons, so obviously you save some more points and condense them into less mons, but you have such good value on the low tiers and a
Great
very
hazards. Great hazards. I don't like the removal, but that's fine. That's just being
yeah.
nitpicky.
I think the removal's a little subpar, but it's not the worst. Gligar Serp can run it. Volcarona's never running it. Serp. So we were talking. The weird thing with Serp is like you drafted it for Terra, and obviously it's a great Terra cap, but because of that, the Terra sets aren't going to one run defog. So like you're only really going to afford defog when it's like a Lycanroc Terra week, and the Serp can be like Subseed, Glare, defog, and like Leaf Storm, and like whatever, cut one of those moves to make defog fit. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's like you invested a lot into 2 great Terra caps, and you don't quite like it. They're hard to prep for. They're both super powerful, but you
Top 2 is
do
also insane together.
yeah. Like yeah, with the 2 Terras, like you can only use one, so right, you're wasting a little bit of points there. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to get 2 good ones, but it's just
No, it's
it's one
not.
aspect of the team that's worth noting. And yeah, when you get Spectrier, you better draft a Dark in a fighting, and you drafted a Dark fighting,
Hey,
so it works.
I mean, there's also realistically 3 pivot mons with Shifu, Gligar, Prim. I mean, Volcarona sometimes
Vulcan
can
run
run
it.
U-turn.
There's like weird
And
bulky. There's bulky Volcarona sets that run like Will-O-Wisp,
yeah, with
Roost,
Wisp, Morning Sun, or Roost,
or
yeah,
Roost. I don't
with
know whichever
U-turn.
one it gets, and then U-turn and like an
I
attack.
think it gets both.
Yeah. So like you can, even though this team is like leaning more offensive, like I would say it's more of a bulky offense. Like Volk, Serp, Prim are all pretty tanky, but
You can have,
you
I
can
mean,
flex a little more defensive if you want because your top 2
yeah,
are
you
just
can
so
run like
strong.
Volcarona with boots and then just have Tinkaton set screens into Volcarona sweep or into Superior Leaf Storm sweep or Permarina Calm Mind, Spectre, Nasty Plot, set up Shifu.
Yeah, I think
Overall,
it's you're we use the term matchup check a lot. This team is matchup checking, but in a good way because Spectre is like, okay, do you have a good normal type? If not, I win. Volcarona's like, do you have one of the like 15 mons that just falls Volcarona? No, okay, I win. So like they have to have both of those, and they have to be able to keep them alive through like the raw power of Urshifu. And then also kind of same
yep.
deal with Serp. It's like, did you predict that I'm gonna be? Did you predict if I'm fire or ground correctly? And if not, then you probably win. So it's a lot of like you're gonna bring all 3 of those guys, and maybe only one ends up being good, but they only have to make a mistake one time for you to just completely run away with the game.
You're bringing top 4, one of your hazard setters, and then another pivot mon, and that's pretty much it.
Yep, and
Almost
then
every week.
if one of them like Volk, sometimes Volk just has really bad
Yeah,
matchups, or Serp,
Volk can sit for like
and
Primarina, Lycan.
then you put the Lycanroc in, and like because you're a little especially biased with that top 5, like of your first 5, 4 are special, so you might run the Lycanroc, but like that's not a bad thing. It's just saying like hey, you got another option. So
Yeah.
I really like this. This is a team like I would like using. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I would say pretty
For
solid.
seventh,
So seventh best team, pretty strong for only being 7th. So the teams above it are gonna be even better.
there's something. There's something all right. All
Yeah.
right.
We can go on number 6. So you got the G King and Kieran Black, so that was instantly like you were going to be in the top half because that's just a broken combo. And then you paired it.
I don't,
You
I don't
paired
know
it.
how you got your top 5 together.
Yeah, I mean, there are like this team is one that we kind of wanted to be higher, and we had to bring it down because it's missing a few things, rather than like it's not good enough. Like clearly, your top five, yeah, your top five mods are just they're coming every week. They're broken every time. Your issue is you have one remover, and it's Fortress, and Fortress is just not that good. It's fine to have Fortress as your second remover, but I would want like one other guy,
Yeah,
whatever it is.
at least you have hat to block the hazards getting up,
Yeah, that's
but
like that counts as like a quarter of a remover, maybe.
your momentum is also Greninja, Megalopoly, and then Baton Pass Hatterene, or like Healing Wish Hatterene.
Hey, Fortress Volt Switch is real,
You're right. I keep forgetting about that. Yeah,
but
it's there.
yeah, I forgot. I didn't know Seismitoad doesn't get flip turn. That's he could probably flip around in the water. He's a frog,
Was
but
he in?
he's been in one of Gen 8 or Gen 9. I guarantee you.
He's
So,
not in 9.
well, he could have gotten flip turn in Gen 8, but I guess they hate him. But
They
yeah,
do hate him.
Seismitoad is yeah, that's I mean it's a fine low tier. I think it's bringable. It'll be fun in the rain week to bring like a Terra Seismitoad with Swift Swim. But yeah, Sinistcha is obviously your primary Terra. Really just one of the best Terras in the game. Some teams
Yeah, hazards are
some
good.
some teams just don't
Removals,
know how to deal with
okay.
Sinistcha. Like if
Yeah,
you
it's a very strong offensive team that has the good defensive backbone in like Miltank, Fortress, and
Slowking.
Hatterene.
Slowking.
Yeah, Soaking. I'm not looking at Soaking. That guy is a pain in my ass.
I love Slowking. Yeah, Slowking just pivots in your all of your insane threats. So like even though I would say this is probably an average pivoting team, it's not a super good or super bad. Slowking just makes it so like you don't even care, and like Greninja, Cure, and Black
You also
both can
have
sweep.
you you also have like two Trick Room mons that can go into your Sinistra.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, you can do Hatterene
Like
Healing
Trick
Wish.
Room Slowking. Yeah, Trick Room Slowking. Hatterene with Trick Room Healing Wish.
Yeah, Healing
Overall, I
Wish is
mean,
actually broken.
not bad. You have good screens as well with Hat.
Yep, I think there's obviously a couple nitpicks. So like you have 4 fighting week,
Very fighting weak,
but you
even with
have
cheeking.
you have 3 resists, 2 of which are quad. Or so you have 2 quad resists, which is basically an immunity, and then you have full on immunity, which is gonna tear out a ghost most of the time. But like at least you have the switch into fighting, and you could just stay. You could
Yeah.
just stay a ghost type until you need to not be. And you have Slowking, which
Or
like basically is immune. The only issue is knockoff on Slowking is going to be most fighting types get knockoff.
knockoff to any of your fighting resists is kind of mid because you don't have a flying type,
Yeah, I think
and then you don't have the poison.
one of the
Well, your
worst
poison
things.
is psychic.
Yeah, like you get a little bit rolled by like Urshifu Water, but at least Sinistcha beats that.
Yeah, I
So
mean
like
both your Shifus are putting up a fight against this team.
the dark one at least, Megalophony can beat. But yeah, honestly,
Yeah,
the
it
dark one might be
can
better
if
because
it's not Scarf
if it's just Scarf, you kind of get
or
cooked.
Trailblaze.
Yeah, so like there's gonna be some like the best of the best fighting types will give you trouble, and you also have no
Or
flying resist, so like that brought this one down a bit.
true, you have to Terrasen's shot into Steel or Electric to have a flying resist because Rock is not a real typing.
Yeah, and to be fair, Sinistcha does go Terra Steel like
Yeah,
most of the
it
time. Like
does.
that's
It
his
can
most
go
common
either
Terra.
one, but
Um,
still.
yeah, or Terra Fairy, but like, and you might do that because Hatterene's not coming every time. But again, like you
Yeah.
have options. Sinistra's great. Your top 4 are insane, and then you get value out of your low tiers. We'd probably like to see one more remover, and a true flying resist. But yeah, Kieran
It
Black's
just
just
barely
so
didn't make
broken.
top 5.
Yeah, and it
It
could have.
barely didn't.
We were moving him around, and like again, like top 6, top 7 are basically the same as top 5 in this league.
Yeah,
So
in
right,
this division.
let's go on to Red Sox Alex. So this is going to be the start of the top 5. So he's 15. Um, this is real like fat bulky offense. Um,
I know you don't like it. I love this team.
I would probably put this one lower. I think you would probably maybe put it a little bit higher. So I think
I
5 is
might have
still.
moved it up one
Yeah.
because
But you know,
I
fifth
love
is
this team.
fifth is good. So why don't you talk about it more because you think it's better than I do?
So even Gliscor now has Roost again,
Yep.
which is amazing. Even if it is like your only hazard setter, it's a great hazard setter. You can have Roost, U-turn, knock, earthquake. You don't have to run hazards with it. You can have Terapagos run hazards with Stealth Rock, but still. I know you were saying earlier that no rock resist. One, I think rock is an untype. It doesn't really exist in Celesteela. Even while it doesn't resist it, it has 97 HP with 103 and 101 defenses. It pretty much resists it and shits on them.
Yeah, and Gliscor does too.
Terapagos and everything resist. It's always a free either Calm Mind or Rapid Spin. Gouging is gonna punch holes into most teams here. Sylveon's a good wish support into Terapagos to get its Terra Shell back because it has slow baton pass with wish. It can wish into Celesteela. Low kicks is going to destroy a lot of teams. Terra Raikou, it's okay. It's not terrible.
Any Terra Electric is decent because you get ice.
Yeah, I mean the top speed being 115 isn't
Yeah,
amazing, but like at the same time, Mega Sharpedo has speed boost. Terafgos has rapid spin. Gouging Fire has booster speed or
it doesn't.
DD.
It doesn't have booster speed. I don't think. It
It
can.
does.
It can.
You
Never
just
mind.
have to be very bulky. You just get no attack
Yeah, I don't love booster
or
speed.
very little attack.
I would just
It's
go
okay when
DD.
you run Morning Sun.
Yeah,
There's
maybe.
some matchups where like DD, Morning Sun, Heat Crash, Earthquake, for example, are just going to be really good into a team
Well, I think it also gets
where
scale
you
shot.
can
Is that
run
right?
booster speed. I think it does. It might not. Let's see.
I'm pretty sure it gets scale. If you can look that one up, I think it does. So, like, yeah, your speed tiers objectively like one of the worst
It does.
on paper. Like you're 115 top speed and only one other mon above 100. Like that's bad in quotes. But Sharpedo's always running protect. It's a little abusable because your opponent should know that you're running protect and they should they either get their free swip or they switch or they get their setup move or whatever. But you get at least one pretty reliable fast mon, and then low kicks is like double priority, super strong damage, and then yeah, you get
I really like it.
3
I just like how fat it is.
setup
This team's
mons.
super fat.
Yeah, like you
Um,
set up with Gouge, Terapagos,
three.
Celesteela.
You set up with Gouging Fire, Terapagos, Gliscor, Celesteela,
Not on this
Sylveon,
team.
Low
Listen,
Kicks, Raikou.
you don't set up with low kicks.
Yeah, you do. It gets Sword Stance.
Yeah, you okay?
I mean, you're
You
not
just
going
died.
to.
No. I'm saying mons that
You're not
actually will
going
set
to.
up, like
It can.
Gouge,
It
Terapa.
can run it, but
Eh,
your
Gouge,
first
Terapagos, and Celi are
four,
better.
your first five mons run setup can run setup.
Yeah, and then you got
Because
Big
Sylveon
Muck.
can run Calm Mind, Gliscor can run Sword Stance with Facade, and then Raikou can run Calm Mind. Celesteela has automized Meteor Beam sets.
Yeah, I think
Trop goes with Calm Mind, Gouging with DD or Skill Shot.
yeah, it's pretty good. I
It
think in
the
my
pivot's
mind,
not great, which probably it should
yeah,
have
it's
been
good.
probably a little bit lower. It's Raikou, Low Kicks, and Gliscor.
And Sharpedo. And Baton
Okay,
Pass on
okay,
Sylveon.
yeah, and Sylveon, but Sharpedo doesn't really want to run Flip Turn that often.
It can though. Like you don't get to
It
keep your speed boost.
it can, but at the same time, are you really gonna want to run Flip Turn?
You're not
There's
running
probably
it.
some matchups where it will.
You're not running it as a pivot move, but sometimes you just deal 45% with a flip turn, and it's like Sharpedo isn't your wing on. It's just meant to like get some damage and
Yeah.
leave. So like it'll have use. I think Sylveon Baton Pass is probably more real as a pivot move. But yeah, I think the pivoting's fine. Again,
Yeah.
it's not like top tier, but like pretty good pivoting. Like yes, you only have 2 removers, but they're both great, and you have It's mostly just Gliscor for setting. You don't usually want to run that on Terapagos, and then Muck is whatever. But Muck is pretty good for
Could
like,
it have been lower? Probably.
yeah, but it
But
can again like these are kind of
I like the
interchangeable.
team.
I think that all the
I
top
really
seven are
like the
good.
team.
Yeah,
This is a team that I would use even if it's not great.
yeah, it's not really my style. I think I want at least one faster guy, but
That's very
I
fair.
see the strengths of it. So we can go on Squirtle, D-Sun, and yeah, this one is just like kind of insane.
Very good.
Zamazenta,
Great removal. Great
Zam-
hazards.
you have debatably the best mon in the format in Zamazenta. Um,
Yeah.
some people hate on it,
One
but it is very good. Obviously, 138 speed, so you're faster than most
bundle.
most relevant things. Polt and Zeraora outspeed you, but they don't kill you. And then like it's like Mega Aerodactyl, which didn't get drafted, and like Mega Beedrill, which doesn't matter, and like Mega Alakazam actually that's a big one, but faster than 80% of teams. Darkrai, great combo. Break the Psychics for the Zama. You of course then get double Fairy Week, so you get the Jirachi, one of the best steals you can get, and Mega
And
Garchomp.
Tentacool, one of the best blue mons.
Yeah, Tentacle's great glue. Mega Garchomp is like mixed attacking and could be a setup threat, whereas like Zama, I mean Darkrai can run Nasty Plot too. Zama doesn't really set up as much because it only has Howl, but and it can be Body Press,
Yeah.
Iron Defense, but
Howl and Iron Defense.
yeah, you kind
I'm
of
pretty
just
sure it also gets workup. It does get workup. You can run specials on Mazenta. Do not be afraid to run specials on Mazenta.
I would say
Oh,
be afraid to do it, but like it gets like Moonblast, I think.
it gets Moonblast
But it already
and
gets Play Rough.
Flash Cannon. I know.
It already gets Play Rough and Iron Head,
It's
so
just funny.
I don't think you would do that, but it's there.
It depends on what team. If you're going into a team that's very physically defensive, then you can run workup special, but you're normally not going to. It might be a once in a very long
Yeah.
time.
I think the double wish support is pretty broken for Zama because that's a mon that like can't heal itself other than lefties. So but it's so bulky that it really appreciates extra health. So like Jirachi Clefable, just like
And both
good.
mons naturally have more HP.
Yeah, they naturally have more, uh, and they both get pivot. I think you can't run Wish Teleport. I can't remember.
I don't
Um,
think you
I
can.
think it's
I
not
know that you
compatible.
can't on Blissey. I don't know if you can on Clef.
Yeah, but either way, like you
You
don't
have
have
Baton
to.
Pass, so it don't matter.
Yeah, and like the point is more so you have both options. Whatever the move legality is fine. You have four hazard setters, and really all four. I mean, it's mainly Jirachi Clefable, but like you got
No,
them.
Garchomp. Garchomp is
Garchomp.
a really good hazard setter.
Yeah, I think when you draft
Even
the
if it's
Mega
Mega.
Chomp, like Mega Chomp's a little worse because you can't run an items. You don't get like the defensive Rocky Helmet sets.
You
But
don't, but at the same time, you you want to not Mega to where you get rough skin still. And even if
sometimes,
you are setting like because it's your only spiker, you can run spikes. It's kind of like Mega Diancie. You can run spikes, earthquake, scale shot, filler.
yeah, you're also just so fast. Like
This team is very fast.
6 Mons over 100 and Mega Garchomp before it Megas is 102, and then
Mm-hmm.
like, but your speed tiers are still good going down. Like it's not like a Haxorus or Urshifu get like free damage on you, and then also you 3 removers. All of them are good. They can all
We
spread
have good
status in
pivots.
different ways. Like you have Willow, Thunderwave on
5
Rotom.
good pivots.
Yeah, you got great pivots. Really, everything's good. This could be the best team. Zoroark can do some funky stuff. I think if I had one thing, it'd be like your Terra captains are not the best use of Terra. I don't think either one benefits that much. Like they have their use.
It's probably the best you could have gotten with the team you have.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily saying like you should Terra a different mon on your team, but maybe there's some Terra captain left on the board that you could move stuff around and get. But like, I don't think you need to. I wouldn't worry about that.
Starting to think we could have put this team like one more up compared to who's next, but Oh, because
I mean, maybe I don't know. This team's very good. Again, all of these top teams are like really good. So yeah, I think we can move on to Ukarad. I still know how to say your name, but
you cared.
that's not it. I've talked to it before. It's not that, but I
No,
can't
it's
remember what
not.
it is.
Yeah.
I think it's like Uikarad,
Oi.
like Ui or something like that. It's not you.
Ooh. Mm,
Anyway,
okay.
moving on to his team. Yeah, I think I probably like the last team more. Maybe I'd slap this one down one spot, but like I still like this one. So this is the third best team.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, again, you have
Terrain.
terrain, but also you don't need the terrain because you have insane speed.
No.
So much like the
Terrain's just
last,
like a
yeah,
good thing for Terra Halucha.
your
And then
speed's
obviously
ridiculous.
signature Zigzagoon perk.
Yeah, the Zigzagoon's broken. That really kind of brings the team up from like probably like a mid tier
The
team to like
pivot
top tier.
the pivot's pretty amazing as well to get into like your Blacephalon.
Yeah, I mean the downside, of course, is like you have an 8-mon team, obviously, and the thing is that like Ting Lu, Registeel cover pretty much everything you need, and then the fighting types that beat them, you have Yuxi, which basically provides all the support you could want. The only thing is Yuxi doesn't get Healing Wish, but I don't even think this is really a team that wants Healing Wish.
I
So
mean, I would probably get Mesper over Yuxi because of Healing Wish back into Ting-Lu and Registeel or like Ogre Pawn
yeah,
in
I
case
think
they got like
yeah,
what do you call it? Like Wisp.
yeah, I think
But it's
Healing
so
Wish
good.
or Wish. You do have Heal Bell at least, but Healing
Yeah.
Wish or Wish would be nice on this team. But you know,
Isn't a big thing.
not the end of the
It's not a
world. And then
huge thing,
like
but
your top tiers, they some of them like Coco doesn't do that much damage. Like Bundle obviously does a lot of damage, but only for 2 types. And then like Ogre Pond does moderate damage, but like you make up for it with Blacephalon, which just is like pretty much unwallable. Another one of the best Terras in the game, probably a top 5 Terra that we're allowing for sure.
yeah.
Um,
And then Hawlucha, which
Halucha I think is a great Terra
Terra
because
Hawlucha is really gonna function people up,
does it
I
get
think.
Terra Blast? I don't think it really even needs it, but
It doesn't need it. It's running
you just go
acrobatics
Terra.
plus combat
You go whichever flying or fighting
filler.
is better. You just go acrobatics close combat, sword stance if you want, roost maybe, or whatever, and yeah, whatever random coverage move might slot in there, and then yeah, you're pretty much just gonna win with one of those terras every
Your
week.
defense walls basically everything, and your offense kills basically everything.
Yeah. Again, Urshifu Dark is pretty scary for you, but Coco beats that pretty well. Like you run a bulky Coco that week, and you're pretty much chilling.
Now, the removal is really bad.
Yeah, that's the
It's
reason
Oko Luca.
I might move this one down like a slot because your
Right.
removal, like you're running defensive or bulky, some kind of bulky Coco most weeks. I think like maybe fast bulky, but you
You
need it for
also
defog.
don't really want to be running defog on this team. You have Ting Lu. You have one of the best hazard setters in the game.
Yeah,
Why are you trying to get rid of both hazards?
yeah. Tinglu's one of the best in the game, and then Yuxi, Ogrepon, and Reggie are also great. So like your setting is awesome, but we need a spinner here. I think. I don't know
Yeah.
what you would cut because I feel like these 8 mons are like.
Well, if Mesprit was is Mesprit cheaper than Yuchi?
I don't know. I don't want to tab out of the dock right now because I'm recording. But if you want to
Yeah.
check, that could be an
I'll
option.
check real
I don't think
quick.
we've seen Mesprit drafted yet, unless it's on one of these next 2 teams. I don't think it is.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, I'm starting to like Mesprit a little more than Yuxi. Although Yuxi's
Let me
just
go
better stats.
look.
But yeah, regardless, the defog is a bit of an issue.
Yuxi's 10 and Mesprit is probably 8 at that point. Let's see. Find Mesprit. Oh, Mesprit's 9, so you get 1 point.
If you could find a 1 point spinner, obviously you got to keep Zigzagoon. Like, team doesn't really function without it.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Mesprit's a little better for Healing Wish on this team, and then you get the 1 point. You get a rapid spinner. It won't make that big of a difference, honestly, because it's 1 point.
I mean,
But
it's fun. it's fun to see him not using Tornadus Therian.
This is not an Uikarad team. There's
It's
no
not.
Torn. There's no regen at all.
It's hilarious. I love it. I love
Um,
that it's just a team that I have never seen him use.
yeah, so maybe this time he'll also break the trend of not winning. So looking looking like that'll probably happen because this team's very very good. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so let's. Oh, you have no poison, but
Top.
whatever.
Oh yeah, I guess
Yeah.
that's another reason why I should have been down one. But your offense kills everything, your defense kills everything. It's
Yeah.
whatever.
All right. Second best team. We have Kit 3210, and they have gotten quite
Iron
quite
Bell.
the set of mons here. So I love Arcanine Hisui. It's one of my favorite Pokemon at this point, and especially with Terra.
And
Um,
Swallow's mine.
and yeah, you have two great Terras. And some weeks one's going to be better than the other. Obviously, like Arcanine doesn't have to Terra, like it still does crazy damage without. But you have so many sets with it, like Terra Fire, Terra Rock for just stab. You go Terra Normal for E Speed, and you can go like Terra Grass, Steel, whatever to make Flash Fire, give you that immunity, and like you get a coverage move. Like you go Terra Grass to break the waters and ground sometimes.
You
Obviously,
have
Swallow.
triple intimidate.
Yeah, triple Intimidate.
Triple intimidate.
And
very good defensive mons in Treads, Necrozma, Rotom Wash, and then the
all
intimidate
of which
mons that can
set
run
up.
defensive.
Like you have
Decidueye, which is okay.
I would say like everything is flexible. Like Valiant has a million sets. It can be setup. It can be choice item. It can be booster. Physical special encore.
Treads can be hazards or
Treads
AV.
can be hazards. Yeah, it can, or it can just be more offensive. Wash, you have a lot of. I mean, Wash kind of does the same stuff always, but at least you have some
You
flexibility.
can run Nasty Plot on it.
Yeah, I think on
There's
this team,
some times where you'll want to run Nasty Plot.
I don't think this team will because you have so many better setups. But
No, I
already
don't think
talked
so
about
either. But
Arcanine. Obviously, Swallow's the same thing every time, but that's chill. Necrozma,
no,
Salamence.
no, 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 no,
All
no,
right,
no. Don't say Swirl's the same thing every time. Because
it is.
if Kit ends up playing against that Mega Diancie team, Terra Steel Wing actually is. I'm pretty sure Oko's Mega Diancie.
But you have Iron Treads and Rotom
And
Wash.
and it's a Swallow. Get Swallow to co-leader.
You could try it.
Either way, but you can run physical with Guts, or you can run special with Boom Burst. Either way,
Yes, you can. Those
you
are
can run
just
one or
those
the
are just the
other.
same thing.
And no, they're not. One's physical, one's special. Come on.
Yeah, you're both using 140 power normal move. That's at 1.5 power.
One has 85 attack, the other has 75 attack. That means
Okay.
physical's better, obviously.
Yep, everyone always uses Guts, Facade, Swallow.
Exactly.
Yeah. Necrozma, Salamence, I really like. Both can be D-Dance. Both, like, sneaky. You can run defensive Salamence with Wish and Defog. And
Yeah.
it's Roost. It doesn't
Which
really
is
get
funny.
it doesn't really get good status moves besides that, but you can run a bulky Wish Defog one and then
Toxic.
yeah, you get Toxic and then you just run an attack or two. Not the best use of it, but might come here and there. More so, just good D-Dance. So it's like, I think this is just going to be really hard to prep for. And then obviously you have amazing hazards from Quillfish. Decidueye is another
It's just
backup remover. Good typing.
It's a really solid team altogether. And
Yeah.
ice types are not real.
Even if they are, like Rotom Wash is one of the best ice counters, and so is like Arcanine. Some of them like get coverage for it because water types, obviously.
And Val beats them.
Yeah,
And
but-
I mean, you're only really weak to Rock outside of that. And as I said
little
before,
bit.
Rock is not a real type. And you can also Terra Arcanine out of it, Terra Swallow out of it.
also like your non-resist, like Necrozma and Rotom are already so bulky that like that's fine, and you have Intimidate on everything, so most rocks are physical. So really, like no glaring weakness. There's a couple small weaknesses, but nothing too bad. You got all the hazard stuff. You got all the pivot. Huh?
I have four pivot mons, but that's not even that bad.
Is it only 4? I guess it is only 4, but like that's
Yeah,
fine.
it's Treads, Rotom, Swallow, Decidueye, but That's whatever.
Doesn't Iron Valiant get Memento?
Okay, all right. My bad.
I don't
5
even know if
pivot
it
mon.
does. Uh,
I think it does.
oh, Quillfish gets Explosion. That actually is real.
You're right.
It doesn't get Flip Turn. I think the water one might get Flip Turn, but
Only the original does.
yeah. But anyway, really good. Just yeah, not really many weaknesses. Got a lot of options to win the game, and a lot of ways to support
Yeah.
them. So pretty much exactly what we want to see.
Yeah.
So let's move on to what we have as the best team, and this is going to be King Cirque,
Which is
he's going to be very happy about
insane.
this. Yeah, this is like not even the most fundamentally sound, but the top end is so broken that like I don't think most people are going to know how to beat it. Like Lele, Zam, Alakazam, and then Sneasler with Psychic Terrain up. Yeah.
It's like your Ghost Week, but you have the best Ghost Resist and Mana Buzz.
You mean you have the best ghost resistant Lickitung, but yes.
No.
And like
the thing should not be coming.
Okay, it'd be faster to just say what's not good. Your Terra Captains are mediocre, but they're not bad. They're still like Terra Shaman has sets. Terra Mandy are pretty much useless, but I think it was 0 tax.
Rotom's not good, but Rotom can do some stuff.
Because Rotom can status spread.
But,
it can be a spin blocker because
yes.
you have maybe not the best hazard setters, but Garchomp and Polion are both solid. And with how offensive your top three are, I think you're going to go defensive Garchomp probably half the time. So you get a spin blocker for Rotom.
I'm just saying the Mon's not good. It's good for the team.
It's not a great
stuff
Mon
for the team. It's just,
but it's like 4 points.
Your bottom, like Rotom and Lickitung are my main 2 issues with the team because they just suck.
Lickitung's pretty good.
I don't like Lickitung.
Why?
Every time I've used it, it's done nothing.
Well, you're probably just not that good at the game.
I'm better than you.
It gets Wish, Heal Bell, knockoff, and it has good bulk with Eviolite, and also it's Lickitung.
Yeah. You know what? I don't like how long his tongue is.
I kind of think it should be longer.
It scares me.
It's kind of funny that when he evolves, the tongue gets shorter. But I think, that's why Lickitung is better than Licky Licky. And, it's really
But no, your top 4 is very hard to prep into.
Yeah, and if anything stops those specific mons, like Darmanitan probably beats it, because you can just send it in, click Flare Blitz, you're going to kill yourself with hazards and chip and stuff, but you really just need Darmanitan to be like a silver bullet for the one steel type that beats you or whatever, and then have the rest, or the one random... I can't
whatever mon it is that I don't think there is a type.
Darm, it's not necessarily that a type would beat you, but it's just a bulky mon.
A very specific mon.
It's rare that a mon will be able to wall Alakazam and Darmanitan.
You know what mon? G-King.
G-King, yeah, that's an annoying mon for you, and Garchomp can beat it, but let's say
Garchomp can, but at the same time, Shucka Ice Beam, and now your Garchomp's dead, and it just regens out.
And I'm sure... unless it's a Fizz-Def G-King, I'm sure Flare Blitz just destroys it because Sheer Force is boosting that. Darm doesn't have to kill a Steel type or a Grass type or whatever. It just has to be there's this one really strong Mon that if I get it low enough, my Alakazam or my Sneasler wins, and Darm can just be switch in, deal 90% or 100%. Maybe Darm dies, but it's fine because you just have such broken stuff at the top. Everything's fast. You have a 150 speed and a infinity speed with Sneasler, and as well as Garchomp Shaman, not bad.
No, this team's very very solid everywhere around.
Yeah, it's got a few holes. You have no spin, but whatever. It's just not that big of a deal.
I mean, but Garchomp's able to live long enough to where you can get hazards back up again.
Yeah, as is even an Empoleon, honestly.
And Empoleon, yeah.
Obviously, you're not setting T-Spikes with Sneasler, but regardless.
Overall, it's not bad. I really it's just those top 4 are going to destroy a lot of teams, and then you drafted very well around supporting that top 4.
Yeah. So, I think this is definitely a top contender to take down the championship. But again, so many of these teams are so good. A lot of them, even like the top half, really had an argument to be like top three, and even in the bottom half, they were still pretty solid. So I'm very pleasantly surprised
There's
with
no
Unova.
bad team.
Yeah, again,
There's
the
no bad team this season.
last season the bad teams were so bad, like horrendously bad. Like no offense if that was you, but like maybe you should take a little offense to it so you get better at team building. But if you were there and you're here now, clearly you're better. So well, yeah, again,
Yeah,
the worst team here still pretty good. Would probably be like a mid tier team in some previous seasons. And yeah, I mean, we gave a couple pointers to the weaker teams, like maybe change out one or two low tiers for most of them, and would probably be up a few spots. But
yeah.
yeah, I think that's going to conclude the power rankings. So if you have anything else you want to say,
Oh, good luck to everybody. None of the teams were bad. You just got unlucky with where you got placed because other people drafted slightly more coherent teams that we liked a little bit more than yours.
yep, and it's also kind of vibes based. So
Yeah.
sometimes I just
Oh,
rate certain mons a little bit lower. But yeah, again,
yeah.
everyone's
Even if you're 16th, you can still finish first and still you could go undefeated. You don't know. Could get lucky. Could get unlucky. Never know.
yep.
Just for fun.
All right, well,
Don't take it too seriously.
yeah, for sure. I'm going to close out the video here. So thanks everyone for watching. Good luck to all the coaches. And this is us signing out. See ya.